Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bestowing His peace and blessings upon the great man Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh in your lives. On this show with, subhanallah, in this auspicious month, the month of Ramadan, the month of the Quran, the month of not just reciting the Quran and making the tadabbur upon the Quran, but of course acting upon the Quran. Aisha radiallahu anhu had mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was like the walking Quran, a Quran that was active, moving, activating Islam in every aspect of his life, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today, my brothers and sisters in the deen of this beautiful deen of Islam, in this beautiful, beautiful month of Ramadan, today we have with us an auspicious guest all the way from Jeddah, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, alhamdulillah, Shaykh Abubakar As Shatri, and alhamdulillah, who is famed for his ability to recite the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the glorious Quran. So, alhamdulillah, first of all, Shaykh, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayyakum Allah ya akhi.
Barakallah feek, Shaykh.
Bika wa bil mustami'in.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair for coming here to Leicester. Leicester, of course, we consider it to be a place of Muslims, of Islam.
Yes.
We have many masajid and many people that love the Quran, they love the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, Shaykh, this is the first program actually live on LRB Digital, and also transmitted on Radio Ramadan or Ramadan.fm. Alhamdulillah. So this is the first show. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, fatha. Okay. Bit of translation. So we're honored to have you, and the radio is also honored to have you. So, Sheikh, a few questions about yourself, first and foremost, before you recite, some beautiful Quran from us. And really, what age did you start reciting Quran?
15.
15. Mustache.
In 1988, finished the Holy Quran.
Allahu Akbar. How many years was
maybe 16. فترة؟ 2 years.
Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah.
يعني ليست متصلة، كنت أحفظ في الإجازات فقط.
Not continuously, but he used to memorize it in the holidays.
Subhanallah. Do you, Sheikh, is your father also a reciter of Quran?
No.
He is not a qari.
البداية من خلال تأثرت ببرنامج في التلفزيون السعودي. رأيت هؤلاء الأطفال الصغار الذين يحفظون القرآن الكريم، وقلت في نفسي لما لا أكون مثلهم، وقد أعطاني الله عز وجل ما أعطاه من العقل ومن الذاكرة.
ما شاء الله تبارك الله. The Sheikh, ما شاء الله تبارك الله, he inspired by a program. He used to see it in Channel 1 Saudi Arabian TV when this program used to bring children reciting Quran. So the Sheikh, when he inspired by these children, and he thought with himself that he has all what these children have, so he decided to start memorizing Quran like them.
وهذا يدل على أثر الإعلام في توجيه الناس إلى الخير.
And this is one of the reasons that when we look to the media, how can media affect people positively by making them memorizing Quran or activating them to make good deeds.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallah feekum. And Sheikh, next question really is, what is the best way for a person living in Leicester, in England, for them to memorize Quran?
في الآونة الأخيرة أنا يعني أنصح كثير من الإخوة باتباع طريقة الدكتور عبد المحسن القاسم إمام الحرم المدني. له طريقة جميلة جدا في الحفظ.
first of all, the Shaykh is recommending the way of Shaykh Abdul Muhsin Al-Qasim, the leader, the Imam of Masjid Al-Nabawi in Medina, and his way is.
الطريقة هي موجودة في جوجل.
His way actually it can be found in Google if you look for it by his name.
أنا عدلت عليها قليلا.
Shaykh Abubakar As Shatri, he made some adjustment on it.
يعني أنا أضرب مثال. مثلا تأتي بسورة مثل سورة الجمعة.
Like for example, when you come to a surah or verse like Surah Al-Jum'ah,
تكتب first ayah, read the first ayah, repeat 21 times. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. Keep repeat 21 times. And the second ayah, repeat 21 times. The third ayah, repeat 21 times. The fourth ayah, repeat 21 times. يعني حتى تصل إلى منتصف الصفحة.
Until you reach the middle of the page.
Okay. بعد ذلك تقرأ نصف الصفحة كاملة 21 مرة.
When you reach the middle of the page, so start from the beginning until you reach again the middle of the page for 21 times. 21 times.
21 times for each line and 21 times for this part.
For each ayah in the beginning. For each ayah,
21.
And after that,
الشيخ عبد الله يقول 20. Add 1.
Witr.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
So the only difference is the witr. The Shaykh, he added once because originally it's 20, but Shaykh Abubakar As Shatri, he just added one repeat for that.
ثم ننتقل إلى النصف الآخر من الصفحة.
Then we will go to the second half of the صفحة of the page.
The same. نأخذ fourth ayah, repeat 20.
And we will take the first ayah from the second half and we'll repeat it for 21 times.
في الناظرة. في الناظرة.
نظر, yes. يعني
reciting it by looking at the ayah, not just by memorizing, because you are not memorizing the ayah yet. You're just trying to memorize it.
وبعد ذلك
21 times. The fifth ayah 21 times. The sixth ayah repeat 21 times. Until finish the page.
The whole page.
بعدين النصف الأخير برضو يقرأه 21 مرة.
Then the second half of the page you will recite it 21 times again, like have you done with the first half.
And the whole page 21 times.
Then after that repeat the whole page 21 times as a whole page. After you finish the first half, then the second half, come back again and recite the whole page 21 times.
ثم يسمعها على الشيخ.
Then after that, try to read it on the Shaykh.
ثم يصلي بها في الليل.
Then try to pray with it as a qiyam al-layl.
وكل ما يحفظه
And all what you're memorizing
يكرره خلال كل يوم في كل صلوات.
During the day, try to recite it while you are making qiyam al-layl.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, that's very ajib actually. So what I'd like to do is
في
to...
إنجلترا هذا في إنجلترا مشكلة كثير مع في the youth. فماذا نفعل مع أطفالنا في إنجلترا in regards to the تلاوة القرآن حفظ القرآن like this.
Regarding the time or what?
As in the القراءة في التلاوة in the night في الليل. How to be encouraged.
أنا الذي أعرفه أن المسلمون هنا جزاهم الله خير يقومون بهذا في المدارس الإسلامية. عندنا في المعهد احنا يعني هذا الهدف عندنا أن نبني الطالب من البداية وهو صغير، نصحح له مخارج الحروف حتى نتأكد أنه يستطيع أن يقرأ قراءة صحيحة، ثم بعد ذلك نبدأ معه في الحفظ.
هذا في المعهد الخاص بكم.
أيوه.
Actually, the brother here said, how can we encourage our children to start memorizing Quran? So the Shaykh, he said, replied to that by saying in his academy, they are focusing to start like any other madrasas in UK who are trying to teach these children to memorize Quran by focusing on makharij al-huruf, where these letters coming from, they should focus on these letters, how these letters should come from their mouths, and making their memorizing stronger by doing such a way.
وأنا نصيحتي لكل المعاهد الإسلامية
And the advice of the Shaykh for all the madrasas,
أن يهتموا بالأساس للقرآن الكريم من خلال أولا تصحيح المخارج الحروف من البداية، لا يستعجلوا على الحفظ.
by focusing on the basics, which is how these letters should be come out from the children's mouth, and don't be focusing on the quantity of the memorizing of surahs.
So just to end this part, because it's very, very particular, because in Saudi Arabia, everybody is native speaking Arabic. So it's easy for them to understand.
Yeah.
And then to make tadabbur upon the verse is easy. This isn't the case here. So we need to have, Sheikh, some advice specifically about the meaning of the Quran and how can we teach the children. Because when I see many children today and I ask them, say, Qul hu Allahu ahad. Tell me, what is the meaning? They don't know. Yet they're hafid of the Quran, which is shocking. So maybe you should give some advice about this, because we have a big problem here in this city. In other cities in England, the idea is just finish the Quran. Alhamdulillah, khatam of the Quran. And everyone is having a party. But is this rewardable, or what is the best approach for us?
أنا سأقول لك قصة. أنا سأقول لك جاء إلينا في المعهد أحد أولياء الطلبة.
One of the parents, the students in the Sheikh's academy.
فنحن عندنا منهج نريد أولا أن نصحح تلاوته، ونريد أن نربيه على القرآن الكريم، على الصلاة وعلى يعني بحيث يعني كيف يكون حافظ القرآن الكريم كما يريد الله عز وجل. أيوة.
So he asked about generally how this academy works with the children. So the Sheikh told him that we are basically focusing on teaching the children how they pronounce the letters better. How can we rise these children on the manners of Quran? How could they copy the Quran manners, and how can they grow with these manners?
فهذا يعني الأخ يعني يقول لماذا لا تحفظوه كمية كبيرة؟
So this father said, why you don't just let the child memorize a big amount of Quran? So this is the father concern.
فهو يقول أنا لا أريد تربية، لا أريد هذا لا أريده كله، فقط أن تحفظوه القرآن.
I don't want these manners. I don't want.
هذه المشكلة في الأب.
Just let my boy memorize Quran.
فنحن لا نستجيب له.
So sometimes the issue is from the parents, not from the child, because regarding to this we don't want to focus.
لأننا نريد إنه الذي يحفظ القرآن الكريم نريد أن ننشئ جيل صالح حتى لمجتمعه الذي يعيش فيه. يعني كيف هذا الطالب يخرج من مدرسة القرآن الكريم وهو من أحسن الناس حتى لمجتمعه الذي يعيش فيه.
We want to build a generation that can affect his community positively by having these high manners from Quran, which is the best manners that we can put inside these children.
Is this usual or unusual? Is it normal, this type of approach in Saudi Arabia, in the places of learning?
هل هذا الشيء ما هو معتادين عليه في السعودية؟
نعم.
النشأة
نعم في كثير من المساجد نعم.
Yes, this is the main thing that in Saudi Arabia focus on.
لأنه يا أخي القرآن الكريم يعني الهدف والغاية منه أن يصلح الله به القلوب والعقول.
The reason of memorizing Quran is the goal behind it is to lightening the hearts and the brains. It's not just memorizing it blindly.
وهناك دراسات يعني لم يجدوا واحدا ممن انحرف عن الطريق وسلك طريق الإرهاب أو أي طريق آخر وهو تربى على القرآن الكريم. لا يمكن.
There is some studies said there is no one who studied Quran and copied the manners of Quran, and you will find him
doing
the other path.
Doing rubbish,
yes.
terrorism or
other.
لماذا؟
And why is that?
لأن الله عز وجل يقول يهدي به الله من اتبع رضوانه سبل السلام ويخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور بإذنه ويهديهم إلى صراط مستقيم والله لن يضل من تمسك بالقرآن.
Sheikh, and lastly, before we move on, because of course we've got our brothers from Human Appeal here that you're Jazakallah khair, moving with in the UK in order to do some work with some sadaqah with our brothers and sisters in Iraq, in Mosul, I believe. So, you know, before I move on to Brother Abid from Human Appeal, who's the fundraising coordinator in the UK, I believe, or is it in the East Midlands? Because we know from the East Midlands.
Promotion.
Yeah, the Sheikh Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to. We read from a hadith that he used to spend the time with the companions, and he taught them ashara ayat, and then he made them eat the Quran and memorize the Quran and then run with those 10 ayat, and it was said that they never left the meaning of those ayat afterwards. Why is it that we are not doing this today?
لأنهم يا أخي اتخذوا القرآن الكريم منهج حياة وأنه رسالة من رب العالمين. أنت عندما الآن أنا أوصل لك رسالة، أول أمر تفعله أن تفتح هذه الرسالة وتقرأ ما فيها وتفهم ما فيها حتى تتجاوب معها. وهكذا الصحابة والسلف الصالح فهموا أن القرآن رسائل من رب العالمين وأن الهدف منها أن يعملوا بها.
Because this Quran, when it came to these people, they took it as a bath for their life. They tried not just to memorize it, they memorize it to work with it, to depend on it, to copy it in their own lives. So, for example, like what the Sheikh said, when you get a message, you have to understand this message when you read it. It's not just reading letters without understanding what these letters, to reply correctly on this letter. So this is what the Sahaba used to do with their children and with the youth in their times.
Subhanallah.
يعني أنا أقول إنه المجتمع البريطاني هنا في قيم إسلامية كبيرة حلوة حتى عند غير المسلمين. الصدق، العدل، هذه كلها قيم إسلامية. القرآن يغرس هذه ويؤسسها.
The UK community, not as just a Muslim community in UK, actually the UK as a general community, they have a good manners, like truth, like yeah, and all of these things, we don't bring Islam or Quran to affect them, or actually it's just to make them stronger in their lives, in the soul.
Fitra, to wake their fitra.
To make it as a fitra.
So this hadith, Rasulullah said that the people of Rum, they have three qualities. You know, Shaykh? That when they see an evil, they have to speak against it. You know, this is so true. And when they see an oppressive, a dhulm, dhalimun, they fight the dhalimun. They have to fight him.
يقول إنه في حديث عن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إنه في ثلاث ميزات أو نعم كميزات للروم بأنهم إذا رأوا.
Five.
So there's five. There's five.
أي حديث عبد الله بن عمر.
ما شاء الله. Okay. So this reminds me of this hadith. Yes. سبحان الله.
لماذا؟ لأنه نحن عندنا المسلمين عندنا إنصاف. ننصف الناس، يعني إذا وجدنا صفات جميلة حتى عند غيرنا نقول الحمد لله هذه صفات جيدة نحن نحبها.
This is one of the reasons that Islam showing the fair, even for non-Muslims, that will agree for them on the good manners they are having, and we will not, despite whatever they're going to say or whatever they're going to do for us, but the right we will just going to approve it for them. Since our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakallahu khair for the beautiful answers, Sheikh. Now we're going to move on because we went backwards in the order, but there was a reason for that because it felt the right way.
Sure, that's fine.
So, Brother Abid, Jazakallah khair for coming in as well, and Human Appeal have been responsible for bringing the Shaykh here, and the Shaykh is doing some great work as well in saving human lives in Iraq and many other places. So maybe you could explain what Human Appeal is doing right now.
Absolutely. I mean, Jazakallah khair to Shaykh. He's always been someone who's dedicated his life to working with charities and supporting charities and so on, and especially Human Appeal. I've travelled with him multiple times, alhamdulillah, always very supportive. Right now, obviously, we are focusing on many different campaigns. Typically, the Muslims suffering in different places across the world, we have to focus on many different campaigns. But one of those campaigns is Iraq. And although we do see Iraq in the news a bit more now than we did before, we do see the news about Mosul and the conflict and so on, I don't think people know the extent to which people are suffering. I mean, this is really, we talk about Syria being the biggest humanitarian crisis of our time. This is another huge humanitarian crisis of our time, where hundreds of thousands of people have literally nothing and are fleeing conflict. You know, today I was at the city retreat. I was mentioning today that we actually know of people who, subhanAllah, there have been couples who were engaged before the conflict started, and then they were split, and one so the fiance, so there's a man living on one side of Mosul, his fiancée living on the other side, and because she's unable to flee from the area which is where conflict is taking place, they haven't been able to get married for 2 years. For 2 years they're waiting to get married, and then we have one of my colleagues, a dear brother Umar, who's on the ground in Mosul, in Iraq, leading our projects there. One of the first things he told me when he came back to the UK was, I was shocked to see the number of widows, who lost their husbands due to the conflict, and then sadly they have to, because they have no money, they have to sell their bodies to look after their children. And it's distressing and upsetting. It's only something we can talk about, really. It's a reality that inshallah we'll never fix, inshallah. But it's something to really ponder upon and to reflect upon, and really it's time to try and make some kind of difference to their lives, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Abid. So, I mean, what are the specific things that you're raising money for in Mosul or in Iraq at the moment?
literally the most basic things. You know, when we respond to different kinds of crises, depending on what's needed there. In the case of Iraq and Mosul, we're talking about food, we're talking about water, we're talking about medication. So literally the most basic things. But for listeners out there, there's actually one project that's quite dear to my heart, and it's a little bit different, which is we are providing widows in Iraq with a microfinance grant. So we're trying to enable them to become self-sufficient. So we're trying to enable them to maybe start a small bakery of their own, or start some kind of small business, so they can look after themselves, they can look after their children, and they don't have to rely on us, essentially. And to support one widow is £1,000. And the difference that could make to their life is beyond anything we can imagine. We're talking about widows who are living in literally the worst conditions.
So it's around £80 a month.
Yeah, around
£83.
Yeah, absolutely.
0.33, I think it is. We know that figure anyway. So. And
in fact, brothers and sisters, bear in mind, I've actually seen videos that Omar has showed me of where, because alhamdulillah we are able to get into Mosul, and we are one of the few charities that is able to get aid into Mosul. There are videos of sisters in Mosul telling us that you are the first organization that's come to us in 3 years. So no one has helped us in 3 years.
Because Iraq, of course, not a focus now. Syria is the focus,
of course, yeah,
in the world. Rightfully so. All of these places are Palestine or Sham, or all of these places are
Yemen as well now. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not in the news. Then people leave it. Subhanallah.
Yeah.
So it's like the BBC is going to instruct us where to go next.
Absolutely.
Which is maybe
sadly we follow the media in terms of what we focus on, and there are so many communities out there that we just don't know enough about. No. And Mosul is one of them. So our work, inshallah, will continue. We'll continue to do what we can to save lives.
Where are you going next with the Shaykh?
With the Shaykh, so Shaykh is in Birmingham tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. He's leading Tarawih at Darul Ulum tomorrow in Birmingham, inshallah.
Where is that? If people want to go and listen.
Coventry Road in Birmingham, inshallah.
Coventry Road, the famous, infamous Coventry Road, yes, we know it well. Alhamdulillah, that's great news. So, at what time would that be? 11 o'clock onwards, I guess?
I'm not quite sure, but I'm assuming it would be 10:45 or 11.
Okay. And from there, where
he'll be travelling to different cities. I'm sure my colleagues who are in the local cities there will be advertising it.
Can they find this on the Humanity website? Or
they can find it. Keep an eye out for advertising in your area, in whatever city you are. He's with us for 20 days, so inevitably he's bound to come somewhere near the people across the UK, inshallah.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, Shaykh.
And also, actually, he will, inshallah, be coming back to Leicester.
He's coming back to Leicester, right?
Inshallah.
So if Shaykh is going to come back to Leicester, then let's arrange something properly.
Inshallah.
And really make it happen, inshallah.
So
yes, maybe we'll do it in conjunction with the city retreat, or we'll try and find another venue which is... And Shaykh, I want you, really, Shaykh, you must give this message to the people more. Because about the Quran, about how to study the Quran, why you study the Quran, and particularly in this month of Ramadan, why or how can we connect with the Book of Allah? How? I'll ask you the question now.
أولا لابد أن نعلم أن هذا الشهر ما شرف إلا لأن الله أنزل فيه القرآن.
We should know first that the owner of this month didn't get it until its name combined with the name of Quran.
لذلك الله عز وجل شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن ليش هدى للناس. هذا القرآن ارتبط بهذا الشهر والغاية منه هداية الناس.
So this Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring it for the people, for the humanity on earth, on Shahr Ramadan, actually He sent it as a guidance in this month for all the people. So we should connect it to this Quran, memorize it, read it more and more to guide us to the right path.
ثم يعني الإنسان في هذا الشهر الكريم لا ينبغي أن يكون مثل غيره من الشهور. ينبغي أن يكون متميزا في الحفاظ على كل دقيقة فيه في الطاعة وبالذات في قراءة القرآن.
this month should be distinguished when you compare it with the other months. So this month you should focus more with the good deeds, with the reciting Quran, with all kinds of good deeds that you should do in this specifically month.
وابدأ من هذا الشهر أن تقرأ في ترجمة، يعني ابدأ آية في اليوم، صفحة 5 آيات 6 آيات، تقرأ تفسيرها وتفهمها حتى تفهم مراد الله عز وجل من هذه الآيات.
And try to take it as a habit from this month. Start with yourself to read the meanings of the Quran and the tafsir of the Quran. Start with 1 ayah. If you could start with 2 ayah, with 1 page, to know what Allah wants from you, to read the real message from Allah that He put it in this Quran.
كثير من الناس يحرص في كل يوم على أن يطالع الواتساب.
Usually, a lot of people daily they would focus on their phones to check their social medias.
لأن فيه رسائل من الناس.
Because there is some messages from other people.
والقرآن فيه رسائل من رب العالمين.
And the Quran, it has the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
فلا بد أن تعي بأن رسائل الله أولى بأن تقرأ.
So you should know that the messages from Allah is more important than the other messages from the people.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, can we ask you, what is the most beautiful ayat or surah in the Quran, and would you like to recite it, please?
القرآن كله جميل.
Yeah.
Allah
Allahu Akbar.
أنا دائما أقرأ سورة الرحمن. نقرأ.
هذا الشيء.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم.
Subhanallah. Very beautiful recitation, of course, in Surah Al-Rahman. Extremely meaningful for us to reflect on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He made us Muslim, He allowed us to have access to the purpose of life and for us to understand and have meaning in our lives, because many people, they are without meaning, subhanallah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us upon the sirat al-mustaqim and protect us from the evil actions of our own self and the actions of the evildoers around us. Ameen. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a true meaning of the Furqan, that we should have understanding. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your trip here, Shaykh, for 20 days here in the UK with our brothers from Human Appeal that are doing so much good work for the very miskeen and for the people in need around the world, regardless of what religion they have. Of course, they're supporting people, insan, not Muslims, but just everyone that is in need. SubhanAllah. So a few questions came in, Sheikh. I don't want to delay you because I think you need to go and sleep and maybe eat and prepare yourself for the next fast. Very quickly, who is your favorite qari or reciter?
أنا أحب كل أهل القرآن.
That's a good answer again. And and one last thing is Shabab are under a lot of pressure. Shabab here in the West particularly. And we want to give them some advice about how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
أول نصيحة تقوية الصلة بالله عز وجل. Relation between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strong.
To become stronger. This is the first advice the Shaykh giving for these youth or Shabab in this area, the Western area. Just make your connection between you and Allah stronger.
ولا بد أن يهتموا بالناحية الروحية عندهم. يهتمون بالأجساد من خلال الأكل، يهتمون بالعقل العلم والدراسة، لكن الروح لا بد من الاهتمام بها. كثرة الذكر، كثرة الطاعة، الحرص على بر الوالدين، الحرص على نفع الناس، على الحرص على الإحسان إلى الناس، على جميع الناس، أن تحسن إلى تحسن الآخرين، أنت داعية إلى الله عز وجل. افعل الخير حتى تكون من المفلحين.
You should focus on the soul food. Usually to feed your body you're going to eat. Usually to feed your brain you're going to go to the school and the university to seeking knowledge. You should focus on your soul, and to feed your soul you need to make a lot of dhikr for Allah. You should focus on that to encourage and to develop your soul. You should making a good deeds for your neighbors, for your community, for all the people around you.
ثم إنه ليحرصوا كما ذكرنا على فعل الخير، لأن الله عز وجل وافعلوا الخير لعلكم تفلحون. فمن أراد الفلاح فالفلاح متحقق يقينا لكل من فعل الخير. فالله يعني أنت أيها المسلم إنما تمثل الدين، تمثل الإسلام، فلا تصد الناس عن الإسلام بأفعالك أو بأخطاء أو بألفاظ لا تنبغي، فكن صاحب أدب وخلق رفيع حتى تكون يعني داعية إلى الله عز وجل. يعني عندما يرونك الناس يقول نعم المسلم فلان، نعم هذا الإسلام الجيد.
Focus on your good deeds. Don't just be a Muslim on a paper or just by name. Show that Islam on your deeds and on your actions. Don't make a bad actions as a Muslim, and by doing that you might making other people who are non-Muslims to not get embraced by Islam, to not like Islam. So try to show the real Islam by your action. Don't try just to hold this name as a Muslim. Try to put it on your actions. This is the three most important advice for you.
Just to confirm that when I'm mentioning the term Shabab, I'm not talking about a terrorist group. So, because that's something that we have now, unfortunately, many things like the term Allahu Akbar is seen as a military command, which it isn't. It just means God is great. Al-Shabaab is just something meaning the youth. It isn't a terrorist group, really. And so on and so forth. So that's just a clarification for those listeners out there that might be, get to this later on and think, well, Yusuf Chambers has gone a bit crazy. Okay, so it's been an honor and a blessing to have you here, Shaykh, alongside our brothers from Human Appeal, and I think we're going to be seeing you, inshallah, very, very soon, inshallah, bi-ithni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, very soon in Leicester. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really bless you at the rest of your trip, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum, inshallah.